Hello, and welcome to your second PHP tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at variables. So go ahead and open up a text editor. I'm using Notepad++. And when it opens, what is going on? There we go. Okay. Took a while. We're going to use our file that we made earlier. So in here, we are going to look at variables. Now, to set up a variable, all you need to do is put a $sign and then the name of your variable. So I'm going to put mine as name. I'm going to equal it. So let me just go into variables. A variable is something that stores information. For instance, if we wanted to make a variable called name, we could put it equal to my name, which is Joshua. So you'd put name, $sign name, space equals space, quotation mark, Joshua, quotation mark, semicolon. Now if we save this and we open up a browser, we open up a browser. Come on, this is ridiculous. Camtasia takes up a lot of my memory. Localhost / php2. And it will display our index. And you'll see that when it loads, eventually nothing appears. So how can we get PHP to display this? Now let's go ahead and use our echo function. So let's do echo, and you normally do these quotes. What we're going to do is going to do echo Joshua. I'm not sure. Oh Christ. Is TeamViewer going to interfere? Okay, so I must have missed. Yeah, I missed those. Now, sorry, I did it wrong. You have to put your variable name in. So ours is just name. And once we refresh this in Google Chrome, you'll see, sorry, because the value was name before, I'll change this to hello world, just so you can see that it's actually worked. You see it says hello world. Now you're probably thinking, well, this can be useful in some cases, but why is it useful now? Well, it's not really useful now at this part, but it will be when we're using forms, for instance. So let's go ahead and let me show you how we could use this in a form. So I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to get rid of all of this actually. I'm going to start some PHP tags down here. So let's do doc type is HTML. And there we go. Let's put a title in here, HTML and PHP. Now, in here, we're going to start off a form. Now we're going to do form. Okay, and then we're going to put, for instance, input type equals text, value equals enter your name here, and then close the input tag. Now, once we've done this, you're going to notice that when we actually close our form tag and refresh this page, you'll get this box. But once you type something in here and hit enter, you see that nothing is actually happening. So there's a reason for this. In our form, we need to put an action in here. So let's just set this a name, and we'll call this first name. Something like that. Enter your, and we'll put first name here. So in here, we're going to put action equals index.php, and we're going to put method equals post. Let's go ahead and save that. Now, if we put hello, you see that it is actually sending it, but it's not actually sending it anywhere. It's sending it here, but there's no PHP for it to do anything with. So let's enter some PHP. The PHP you want to enter is, for instance, the name was first name. So I'm going to put first name equals, and then you're going to put this, post, $_post, and then these, and then inside these square brackets, you're going to put 2 of these marks, and then you're going to put first name. Now if I refresh this, and let's put echo first name. Now we're going to get an error here because we've got a variable called first name and it hasn't actually got a default value until we put something in this text box. So what we need to do is we need to turn something called error reporting off. To do this, you type in error, I think it's reporting, in here put 0 for off, and then refresh this page. You see that the error has gone. Now before we continue, I'm just going to put a submit box in here. Input type equals button. No, we'll do submit. Value equals send. Now you have this here. So let's just go ahead and put Joshua Welford, and it's going to echo our name here. An easier way to do this, so you didn't actually have this box here once you hit send, would be to put this into another file. For instance, if we just save this and create a new one, paste this in here and save this as, for instance, we'll save it as send.php, and we'll go back to index and we'll change our action to send.php. Now once we refresh this, hit cancel, we're just going to hit refresh. No, we're not going to hit go then. And we're going to type in our first name, which is Joshua Welford. And there you go. Now still, this isn't really useful unless, you're going to make something, you're going to make a line of text where it's going to say blah 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 blah, instead of say your name. You could make it something funny like biggest gay ever is and then the name that you entered. But the way this is actually useful is if you were to create an HTML email form, you could have these equaling to, this one could be enter the email address, subject, and message. And then you could use another file that sends all of this stuff to an actual email address. For instance, whatever you put the email as, it would go to that email. Whatever you put the subject as, that would change the subject, and whatever you put the body in the email as, that would change the body. Now, this is pretty simple. Let me just explain everything that I've done a bit more. Now, this is HTML, and I know this is a PHP, but I'm going to need to explain this because it's in this part of the video. Now, an action in a form is something where this data here that you input gets sent to. if you were to just put no action in here, it would go nowhere. Now a method, there are a few, I don't know how many methods there are, but I know there is post and get. I think post is pretty exploitable and shouldn't really be used much. Now, the reason this works is in here we have name set to first name. Now, this is the name of the actual text box, which is saying the name for this. So the browser is saying this name is first name, and this file is expecting a first name from this file. So it's going to think, okay, so I'll set this variable to whatever they posted in first name, and then it's going to echo this out. For instance, if we were to make another input text box, copy this and paste this here and change the name to second name, let me just close this one, and then we could put enter your last name here. Once we refresh this, I'll go back, sorry, and hit refresh, you're going to get enter your first name here, enter your last name here. Our first name is Joshua, our last name is Welford. No, sorry, I didn't echo out the next one, did I? So you're going to set this one to second name, and then you're going to choose this one. It's going to catch the data from anything that's named second name. And now all we need to do is echo second name. And now you're going to get Joshua Welford. Now you'll see, because we didn't actually put a space in here, there's no space there. You can fix that, it's easy, but I'm just going to put a space in here and hit send, and then you're going to see your name is Joshua Welford. Now, the only problem with this is anyone could go ahead and put h1 hello h1, and then it's going to print out the actual HTML. Now, if this is an email form, you're going to have some problems here, because while some emails allow HTML and some don't, you're going to have some problems with validation, you're going to have some problems with email display. So there are ways to disable certain things being allowed. You can disable, you can enable only one bit of code. In our case, we'd only want to allow text, and you can disable the rest of the languages like JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, and PHP. I could actually put in here PHP echo hello, and then you see that it hasn't actually put anything, but that's because although this is a PHP file, PHP is disabled in forms by default, so you can only actually use certain types, but it would get messy, and if you actually had HTML enabled like we do now, stuff can get a bit weird. So let me explain variables a bit more before we end the video. Like you can see here that the variable first name is equaled to whatever is sent from anything called first name in the other file. So what this is doing is this is catching the data, and then it's sending it to send.php, and then send.php is thinking, okay, I look at my file for anything, for something that they want me to put these data types, and then it sees, okay, there's one called first name, look into this, and it says, oh, there's a post here, what name is it? First name. Okay, I'll put that into there because it was sent from something with a name first name. And then in this one, we've called it second name. We can actually change these to whatever we want. I'll change this one to Bob, and I'll change this one to Bill. Then we could just echo Bob, and we could echo Bill. Now, once we resend these data values, they still display, even though these aren't named first name and last name. All that needs to be the same as in here is what is inside the post function. Not function, I don't know the real name for it. But yeah, so that's how you can create a simple form that echoes whatever they write out in. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Comment, rate, like, subscribe if you learned anything or even enjoyed the video.